Hey everyone, in this tutorial we're going to continue smart hair creation by taking a look at generating hair cards in Blender and importing custom-made hair into Character Creator. Finally converting it into smart hair format so we can apply it on any one of our CC characters. Before creating hair cards, we need to use the character's head as a reference. Start by applying one of the many free scalp assets so we don't need to do it later in Blender, and then use the Blender pipeline export function, being sure to choose selected model as we don't need any motions for this workflow. We can then import the model into Blender using the Auto Setup tool. Smart hair is composed of 4 separate elements: top, base, rear, and bangs. Let's start with the base here and add a path from the curve menu in order to begin shaping our hair. In edit mode, we can adjust the curve's shape and position. You can use the Shift-D hotkey to duplicate multiple curves. To add thickness to the hair curves, begin by creating a new curve to use as the bevel object target. Select the hair curve, go to Curve, Geometry, Bevel, and Object, and assign the newly created curves as the target to give it thickness. We can now use the target curve as a controller to adjust the overall shape of the hair, and enter edit mode to make further edits. You can use tilt to adjust the rotation and radius for scale control. Try to avoid mesh interactions when doing this. Next, let's assign a material to the hair by adding a plane and importing the previously created opacity texture. From there, we want to connect the texture to both the base color and alpha inputs. Use Ctrl-T to bring up the object mapping nodes and adjust the texture position and scales accordingly. Finally, we can select both the hair and plane and press Ctrl-L to link the materials, which will apply it to the hair as well. You may notice that gaps remain between the hair strands, which we can fix by pressing A to select all, then duplicating the curves. From there, we can proceed to adjust the position, scale, and rotation to enhance the hair thickness. You can notice it get thicker as we duplicate and position another curve on the other side of our original. Now, since CC only recognizes mesh objects, we need to convert the hair curves into a mesh. But before we do, however, let's switch to wireframe view and check the mesh density, which you can see is quite high. Let's adjust the resolution preview value for the curves to something lower, as well as the same value for the target curve. Finally, right-click and choose Convert to Mesh, which will change our icon into a mesh object. Next, we need to adjust the UV layout of the hair. When doing this, try to give variation to the UV densities of each section to avoid making everything seem too uniform. After that, we can proceed to quickly create other sections of hair using the same process we used for our base hair. Again, use curves to quickly shape the hair, then add thickness with a target curve, and then make local adjustments. The last step is once again to define the UV distribution throughout that specific hair section. One cool trick when creating your own smart hair is to create morph sliders using blend shapes, which allow you to quickly and easily adjust things like the length, thickness, and other properties. In this scenario, we're going to make the hair a bit longer, so I'll start by adding in a shape key for our rear hair section and using the grab brush to extend the tips of the hair. Once I've dragged it down, I can adjust the value slider to preview what we'll see for our morph slider in CC. Next, we can select the upper back section of the hair and follow the same steps to thicken and lengthen the curly ponytail hair part. In CC, under base color, you can adjust the intensity of the vertex color to give your hair more depth. To do this, we need to paint the vertex color in Blender and then import it into CC. Then use the brush to slightly darken the edges of the hair. Once you're done, export the hair sections as separate FBX files. then import them using the Create Accessory method in CC. Now we can save our customized imported hair as smart hair next. The first thing you'll want to do is set the shader type to Digital Human Hair under the Materials tab, which will reveal the vertex color we painted in Blender. You'll then want to load in the 6 previous textures to their respective slots in CC. The flow, root, and ID padding maps are found in the shader settings section. This is what the monochromatic version of your hair will look like at first. Choose a color of your choice to act as the base color of your hair section. After which you can also choose root and end colors to blend in nicely and complement your base color. There are also separate sliders under Advanced that let you adjust the various strength values and invert the colors. You can also set a highlight color which utilizes the ID map, and you can choose a certain value range at which to apply it as well. On top of that, there's also various specular direction parameters which allow you to adjust the angle of the highlight reflection. You'll also find the morph sliders we created earlier in Blender under Actor Parts in the Morphs tab. One thing to keep in mind is that when adjusting your character's head and body mesh, the hair will conform along with the adjustments as it has conform applied by default. To prevent this, go to Conform in your Attributes tab and edit the range. White areas here represent a conform value of 1, so we want the whole mesh to not conform with the head mesh adjustments. We need to select all of the vertices and change their conform values to 0. Now when we adjust the head mesh here, the hair will no longer conform to it. Here's the difference you'll see before and after modifying the conform settings. The last thing you'll want to do is save your smart hair for future use. Currently all of the sections are in accessory format as that's how we imported them in, so let's go down and click the Create Hair, Brow, and Beard button, choose the appropriate template, and then click Apply. Do this for all of the different sections, and you'll then see their type is converted from accessory to hair. Click Save in the Content Manager and choose Hair Element for each individual section. You can then apply them all separately and modify them in any way you wish later. That's about it for this tutorial series, guys. You can use software other than Blender to model your smart hair as well, so feel free to use your tool of choice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.